It's all about allowing peace within. It's absolute surrender, so serenity begins. For when the storms subsided and calm becomes a wave, it's all about allowing it to stay. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you cease to struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it to start. Now feeling warm and shining, new with promise, strong, undying love, different than any you've ever known. And now the sea is so. It's all about allowing change to show that living in the moment like it's all you'll ever know. And though it won't be easy, you can truly say you tried. It's all about allowing it inside. And now the sea is so. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For when you cease to struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it. It's all about allowing it. It's all about allowing it to start.
What a beautiful way to start. So welcome everyone, and I'm inviting you to close your eyes for our opening treatment. And so as I feel my feet meeting the floor, I recognize my connection to all that is, to the one consciousness, the one spirit, the one power, the one presence that inhabits all of life, including me and each of you, the greater centers for spiritual living, the teaching we embody, and our human family that we are connected with all over the world. And so I breathe in to this eternity. I breathe in to the infinite. I breathe in to the light that takes form as everything we can see and all beyond our seingness. And that power is here, within our service today, within everyone that is in this space or arriving, within everyone that's watching online, and every place in between. Love is here. And when we are in the unknown and when we are in uncertainty, it is love, it is God, it is light that we turn to in those moments for comfort, for reassurance, for guidance, and for the next right step. So what I know is that Spirit is here ordering our steps within this service today, and that everyone here feels safe, seen, and loved. And so we bless this community because truly it is a gift. This opportunity to come together, to allow these frivolous differences between us to simply fall away and to come into the knowingness of who each of us is, an individual expression of the one love that is the Creator, the creation, and everything in between. Each of us a part of that sacred wave. Each of us like a little drop of rain that's connected to the water of life. So with such gratitude for coming together, for everything that is flowing forward as a result, I move into that state of yes. And I let the words that have been spoken unfold perfectly on behalf of us all, and let all that is here simply be so. And if you'd like, I invite you to join with me by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that beautiful opening song. Thank you for the treatment, Rhonda and Kris. Everyone, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown, a vibrant community where love, joy, and including others are at the heart of everything that we do. Here we honor the unique journey of our every soul. Together we create an atmosphere of openness and love where every person is seen, valued, and accepted just as they are. I'm Christy Fondavilla, a member of the Leadership Council here at CSLM. Thank you for joining us. Whether you're here in person or watching the live stream, check us out at a later time. We are so happy that you're a part of this journey, and we have a journey of shared wisdom, light, and transformation. If this is your first time here with us, we welcome you and invite you to get a welcome packet. Our welcome packet is back there, and you can complete a new visitor form so we can include you in the future events happening at our center. You're also welcome to choose a book, which is our bookstore is right over there from our bookshelf, and it is our gift to you for coming to visit us today. To all of us, to all of you, we publish a weekly newsletter through Constant Contact. If you're not already signed up, please do so in the back. We have a sign-up sheet in the back. And you can also visit us at our website, which is cslmorristown.org. We're so happy to welcome back the wonderful Rhonda Dene as our musician, and the always inspiring Kris Ferraro as our speaker and practitioner today. Our 2026 CSLM theme, Open at the Top, and our monthly theme for May is Divine Doubt. Kris' topic today is the sacred gift of not knowing. We're going to do our Namaste practice, so we will begin our celebration today with our Namaste practice. Namaste is a Sanskrit word meaning the divinity in me honors and celebrates the divinity in you. Please turn to those around you and offer a Namaste offering as you bow. Namaste. Namaste.
I am open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. I am open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. I don't have all the answers now, but I'm willing to take it slow. I believe that something is calling me. Where it will lead, I don't know, but I'm open to the possibility. Yes, I'm open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. There's an open road as far as I can see, and my heart
hard to speak sometimes after trying to sing. I'm not sure there's anything else that really needs to be said. They have just done the sermon for me, so thank you. Woo! That's okay, we can take a breath together. Let's do it. Breathing in, letting it out. Wow, that was really something. So, I want to start this sermon today by having a question for you. Have you ever desperately wanted certainty? A guarantee, a clear sign, a 5-step plan from the universe with bullet points and an accurate timeline. What I like to affectionately call blueprints. And yet, I will say that most of us by now probably know that doesn't work that way. I'm not a fan, personally, but the universe certainly didn't ask me about its operating system. There's times we just simply need to know, will this relationship work out? Will my health improve? Will I have enough money and realize my dreams? Am I making the right decision? And that's just questions about ourselves. We often have questions about the people that we love. And then there's the greater humanity as a whole. And we are living in a time of immense uncertainty. And yet, life keeps inviting us into the mystery. Not occasionally, constantly. We are always standing at the edge of the unknown. And usually we treat not knowing like a problem to solve. I think it may be what has fueled my entire career. Let me get the answers, let me find the answers, and then just teach them to other people. But what if not knowing is not a flaw in the spiritual path? What if it really is our spiritual path? What if uncertainty is not evidence that Spirit has abandoned us, but evidence that something new is trying to be born in, through, and as us and our lives? So today I want to explore what I'm calling the sacred gift of not knowing. Because sometimes the greatest transformation does not happen when we finally get the answers. Sometimes it happens when we stop demanding them. Human beings are meaning-making creatures. Our nervous systems are designed to seek safety and predictability. When things feel uncertain, the mind rushes in to fill the gap. The mind is always imploring us to figure it out, control it, predict it, fix it, and prepare for every possible outcome. I may know a thing or two about this because, hi, my name is Kris, and I am a recovering control freak. It hasn't served me very well. I'm at a stage in my life where when it gets kicked up and I'm seeking to grasp and hold on, I know that in those moments I'm actually limiting myself. Our human brains are limited when it comes to possibilities. Have you ever spoken to someone or read a story about someone's real life and said, I didn't even know it was possible to live like that. I didn't even know it was possible to believe that way. And even with the technology that we have and greater possibilities available for us than ever before, it is still limited when it comes to spirit, when it comes to the infinite, when it comes to the eternal, to that which has always been and will always be. In New Thought, we talk about surrendering limitation and allowing divine intelligence to reveal itself in new ways. The unknown is not empty. It is creative and fertile, and it's where possibilities lives. So, Let's be honest. The ego does not enjoy uncertainty. The ego wants GPS directions from spirit. Turn left in 200 feet and everything will be fine. But spiritual growth often looks more like being handed a flashlight instead of a floodlight. You get enough illumination for the next step. Not always the entire staircase, but at least one step. And that can feel really uncomfortable because uncertainty activates vulnerability. I just got back from a trip to the Netherlands and Serbia. I was surrounded with uncertainty. Where was I going around that corner? Travel often brings that up. And I felt surprisingly vulnerable in those moments. And yet, there was incredible magic that greeted me when I could just let go and trust. Vulnerability is often where authenticity lives, where love lives, where creativity lives, where transformation lives. There is a reason seeds grow underground before they break through the surface. It is the reason caterpillars dissolve into complete chaos before they become butterflies. There is a reason that labor comes before birth. Any artists in the room? I know it's more than just you two. Where's the writers at? Where's our creators at, right? We face the blank page, the blank canvas, and we think, what am I even doing here? And yet out of that not knowing, we invite something to flow forth and express through us. Life itself trusts the wisdom of becoming, even when the final form is not yet visible. So I want to share a story about when I survived the unknown. I left my career in social services after 15 years to work for a company that sold personal growth products. It was a family business. I went from working in a traditional office environment to working from home. And 2.5 years in, right before Christmas, I was fired. And I was so filled with shame and humiliation because I thought I had done a really great job, but sometimes doing a really great job doesn't get you what you think it's going to get you. And I completely shut down. If I didn't know before that moment how stress affects the physical body, well, this was the most visceral example of that. Every joint hurt, and I just kind of curled in within myself. But I was a part of a different spiritual community at that time, and we had a large group of people that were going to be taking their practitioner tests to become licensed spiritual practitioners. And so it had been scheduled months in advance that those of us that were the already practitioners and seasoned and experienced would show up that day and pray for them and hold space for them while they took their test. And it was 2 days later when this was happening, and I shuffled in there feeling like a 100-year-old woman. I could barely move. But I know that if I make a commitment, I show up. And so I showed up and I held hands and I prayed for these more junior practitioners who were becoming and held space for them. And when I walked out, my body was straight and my shoulders were back, and I felt like an enormous weight had been lifted off of me. The questions were still there. Was I going to lose my house? What was going to happen to me? And I thought that I would end up going into another job. I didn't think I was ready to be fully self-employed as a healer and to do the work that I'm now doing. But I had 6 months of unemployment to figure it out. And within 2 months, I realized that I was never, ever again going to work for anyone else. And I built my business, and now it's 11 years later, and my life is filled with freedom and joy and purpose and meaning that I could never have predicted in those moments. Looking back, I can now see that what felt like confusion was actually transformation in progress. Because often we only recognize divine order in retrospect, right? That's expression of 2020 is always hindsight, right? We look back and we go, wow, there really was an order. There really was a rhythm. There really was a meaning within all of those steps. Ernest Holmes says, do not try to solve your life all at once. Live it a little at a time. When he did his sermon by the sea, he encouraged us to remain open at the top. He knew that in his lifetime, that what he knew was limited by what was going to come next. And he knew that he couldn't predict what that was going to be. So he put a call out to all of us to encourage us to remain open to what would be continuing to unfold through consciousness itself. What if uncertainty is not punishment? What if it is an invitation? Not knowing asks us, can you trust without guarantees? Can you remain open without immediate answers? Can you let life unfold instead of forcing it? And can you stay present instead of catastrophizing? Sometimes the answer for me is yes, and sometimes I catastrophize even so. Sometimes I let my little inner toddler come out, have a tantrum, throw itself on the ground. Why? But I allow it knowing that I'm going to get through on the other side, because faith is not certainty. It is willingness. It is staying open in the dark and taking one step even when you cannot see the destination. This is sacred courage, and we develop it simply by practicing it. It's nothing that anyone can give us. It's already inside of each and every one of us. So when we say yes to the unknown and put one foot in front of the other, something is activated within us that is our divine birthright. I think it's important to acknowledge something practical, that many of us are not merely mentally uncomfortable with uncertainty. There's a physiology behind it. The nervous system interprets uncertainty as danger. So when we do not know what's coming, the body can move into anxiety and hypervigilance, overthinking, and emotional shutdown. This is why spiritual practice matters. They're called spiritual practices because they're meant to be practiced. Even in the times when we don't feel like it's doing anything, even when we're sitting on our meditation cushion and the overthinking is taking over, we sit and we practice. Prayer, meditation, breath work, tapping, and coming together in community helps us to regulate our nervous system so we can remain present with uncertainty rather than be consumed by it. Community especially matters. Listen, I'm a big introvert, but it is something that happens when I'm in a group of like-minded people where I can literally feel my blood pressure come down, where I recognize that I'm in a safe space. We all evolved from tribal consciousness in which we lived in community, in which us being fed and taking care of children was all something that we did in communion with one another. That survival was dependent upon being in community with others. And that is in our cellular memory. We have that within us, and yet we are living in a time of unprecedented disconnection. So it's important that we come together, that we share, that we open our hearts, that we be vulnerable. Right before I went on this trip, I thought, why did I do this trip? I was filled with doubt. I was completely overwhelmed. I was fitting in all my clients and everything I needed to do before I went. I was going to be in the Netherlands and Serbia and Belgrade and then in the mountains, 3 different climates. I had stuff spread out all over my bed. How was I possibly going to pack for this? It was one of those moments where I was like, I really should have gotten travel insurance. Maybe I could have just backed out of this somehow. If only I could get my money back. And a friend called me and said, you must be so excited about your trip. And I could have agreed with her, and instead I was vulnerable and told her the truth. And I said, I don't know why I decided to do this. I was out of my mind. I wish I could cancel. What am I going to do? And she said, I'll be there on Saturday. And she showed up at my house with this enormous bag of more travel-size items than I have ever seen in my entire life. And she spent the day with me helping to finish up some things I needed to do. And then we went through everything that was in my suitcase, and she gave me some feedback so I could tighten up what I needed to bring. It happened because I was open, because I was honest, because I expressed my uncertainty. And then from that, somebody was able to step in. I contacted my prayer team and said, I'm waffling. I need your help. Please pray for me. And they did. We calm one another. We steady one another. We remind one another, you do not need to have everything figured out to be held by life. So, we're going to do a little simple ritual together today. And you're going to do it right there in your seats. So, if you feel comfortable, I'm going to invite you to place both feet uncrossed, flat on the floor. Okay? If you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to lead you through it step by step. We're going to start with taking a deep breath in through the nose and blowing it out through the mouth. Now gently close your hands into fists. Bring your awareness to those hands. Notice what it feels like to clench. This is what we often do with uncertainty. We grip, we brace, we try to hold tightly enough to force certainty. Now ask yourself silently, what am I trying to control right now? What am I trying to control right now? Could be a relationship, a future outcome, a fear. Just notice without judgment. Now bring your awareness to the center of your chest and activate the feeling of compassion. Compassion for your humanness, for all the ways that you respond to the unknown. I'm going to take another breath, breathing in through the nose, blowing it out. Silently repeat after me. I release the need to know everything. And now gently open your fists and leave your palms open upward on your laps. I open myself to wisdom greater than fear. And one more. I trust that clarity can unfold one step at a time. Now imagine placing your uncertainty into the hands of the divine. Not abandoning responsibility, but releasing the illusion that you must carry the entire future alone. Allow yourself to surrender to the power far greater than each of us. Let's take one more deep breath in. Let it go. And gently return your awareness to the room and gently open your eyes. Doesn't it feel good to let go? Rainier Maria Rilke said, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves." Let me read that one more time. Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves. There is something profoundly holy about empty space. Music needs silence. Art needs a blank canvas. Breathing requires exhaling before the next inhale comes. And spiritually, transformation often requires space. Resist the temptation to fill the silence with noise, distraction, certainty, opinions, and predictions. We have a lot of ways that we can do this these days. It's probably in that thing in your pocket that you're carrying around. I could be a non-stop streamer, believe me. Oof, podcasts, music, I could just immerse myself in it forever. But I find that when I do that, my energy field becomes denser, my vibration becomes lower, because the soul needs spaciousness, and wisdom often arrives slowly, much to my chagrin. Clarity emerges after we stop chasing it, but we gotta create room for it to flow. So maybe a spiritual path is less about collecting answers and more about learning how to live the meaningful questions. Instead of how do I guarantee that this works out, maybe the question becomes, how do I stay present and open? And when you're in that question, don't immediately try to fill it in, because that power greater than you that lives in you, that is as close as your heartbeat and as near as your breath, has the answers. You don't have to fill in the blank. You just have to allow the space for it to come. When you think, how do I avoid uncertainty? Maybe instead the question is, how do I deepen trust? Instead of how do I control the future, maybe it's how do I participate consciously in this moment? How often we are looking ahead and missing what is in this moment. After my trip, I've been going through photos, and I created some reels, and it's been very interesting, because in the times of the stress that comes with travel, there were times that I numbed out a little bit. And then I look back and I'm creating this reel, and there's the love that was there all along, but I couldn't let it fully in that moment out of my vulnerability. Thank goodness it was there, and I get to re-experience it through those pictures, through those videos. Questions can open us, and rigid answers can close us. I believe one of the most courageous spiritual acts is to remain open-hearted in the presence of uncertainty. Isn't that the nature of love? How many of us have gotten into a relationship and thought, oh, I don't know what's going to happen here, but the love called us forward. When I talk to parents, they tell me that this is what happens before they give birth. There's that feeling of, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? And it's too late now. But courage and love shows up to guide us along the way. I do not fully know what comes next, and I will still choose love. And that's what I would want for each and every one of you. I do not fully know the outcome and will still take the next step when I'm ready. I do not fully know how it unfolds, and I will still trust that life is moving forward. It is the impermanence that the Buddhists shared with us, that life is always moving forward and we can't stop it. Because the sacred gift of not knowing is it keeps us teachable and humble and awake to possibility. When I lost that job, I didn't think that what would come was even possible for me. It wasn't even part of the plan. And yet there it was all along. I got kicked out of the nest. I got thrown off the cliff. And I flew. Sometimes what waits for us beyond certainty is something far more beautiful than what we could have planned ourselves. So may we loosen our grip, may we trust the unfolding, may we discover that Spirit is present not only in the answers, but in the mystery itself, and that the mystery has a purpose. This famous quote from Martin Luther King Jr. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Every movement, every advancement in civilization has simply gotten their marching orders and put one foot in front of the other, often when it looked like change was not possible. They simply said yes to what was unfolding within them, and they allowed it to follow them forward. And revolutions were the result. Perhaps faith is not certainty about the future, but trust in our ability to meet whatever arrives with the presence of Spirit, knowing we're not alone, we're not ever alone, we're not ever doing it alone. That wave of consciousness, of love, of ever unfolding good, that we are each individual drops in those waves that are moving the tide forward, and that when we can let go of what we're gripping to, we're often led to something really quite magical and spectacular. And when you're feeling shaky about the unknown, reach out to someone in your community. Go to a safe space. Go to someone who's going to show up with a bag of travel-size accessories and who's going to tell you that everything is going to be okay. And in that moment, you're going to know the love that you truly are. Thank you.
You've been up against the wall, open the door. You're trying not to fall. open the key. Don't need no ticket, you can get it for free. It feels like home when you're ready for more. You take it easy, baby, and just open the door. Open the door. There's a party going strong. Open the door. It's been here all along. Open the door. All your new best friends are waiting for you. Why don't you open the door and just walk right on through? You can have it all. Open the door. You can lift the latch, turn the key. You don't need no ticket, you can get in for free. If it feels like home and you're ready for more, just do it, baby. Open the door. Open the door. You're up against the wall. Open the door. You're trying not to fall. Open the door. There's a wonderful world, wondering where you've been. Quit knocking and walk right on in. You're right where you belong. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door. Feel 10 feet tall. You can have a ball. Just open the door. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door.
Okay, we're gonna open that door. So it's time now for us to celebrate our abundance. And we believe in the spiritual law of correspondence that states, as you give, so you shall receive. There are many ways to give here at the center. We appreciate all of our volunteers who give their time and talents, and we also appreciate all those who give from their financial abundance. This time in our celebration, we will pass the basket. It's right here. And you can give from your monetary gifts today. And you can also give on our website, cslmorristown.org, or through PayPal and Venmo, which our QR code is right in the back. And many of our committed givers already use that, so we thank you. So please join me to affirm our abundance and bless these gifts. Divine love consecrates my gift.
Divine love consecrates my gift.
It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. As I give my good, I receive my greater good. And so it is. So now it's time for our announcements. So used books are needed. We have a table at Brookfest. Is that Brookfest, right?
I keep saying Brookfest, Brookstock.
Oh, Brookstock.
Brookstock.
So we have a table at Brookstock, which is next week. It's a festival of music, arts, and crafts, and it's happening right across the street. It's on May 30th, which is next Saturday, right? Yeah. And so we're collecting donations of books, that if you want, you can bring to us. We'll sell it, and it's going to attract people to our tent. And the drop-off is right outside. There's a box there. For the month of May, we are doing a marketing action for May. We're going to go for the stars. So please leave a Google review for our center, and instructions are in the back of the sanctuary. And let's get the word out how awesome our community is. We have our next discussion group, which is going to be next week. It's facilitated by Lori. And come to our discussion group. It's a place to belong, to believe, and become. It's a lively, heart-centered conversation, and we explore all the CSL monthly topics through the science of mind perspective in a very supportive, engaging, and welcoming space. And on November 7th, the first Sunday of June, Kat is going to be doing a yoga, nidra, and sound journey. You should come to that one, because I'll be there. So it's June 7th. It's from 1:15 to 2:30. We have a service project. Join us for this fun, creative service project for the organization called Color a Smile. Color Smile is a nonprofit organization that distributes cheerful drawings to nursing homes, hospitals, Meals on Wheels programs, our troops overseas, and anyone in need of a smile. So every month they mail thousands of new drawings to the recipients on our mailing list, on their mailing list. And since 1990, Color a Smile has given out millions of cheerful drawings, and that's a lot of smiles. So the Let's Color date is Sunday, June 14th, and it's from 1:15 to 2. So if you have any questions, ask Valerie White, and she or Eileen Gantz. They are leading this project, which I think is great. Thank you. Oh, and it's time for our concert, which is going to be June 28th. It starts at 2 p.m. It's going to be featuring Ed Skrasinski and friends. And it's going to be the 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So bring your dancing shoes on. So it's going to be great. Mark Benfonte is going to be on drums, and it's going to be an amazing concert. So I'm excited. A lot of great events going on. And let's see, our next
And that's
event.
following our barbecue, right?
That's following. We're going to have a barbecue on June 28th before the concert. It's going to be outside, and so come.
That band is really great. It's super professional.
Yes, we are celebrating our 1 year here. Thank you, Lauren. Yes. And on Wednesday mornings, we have going on right now through June 24th, meditation that's facilitated by Jean Lee, and it's on Zoom. And I heard that it's really, really very good, right? You've been... and then let's take a look at our next announcement. So our book club update, we're very grateful to Arlene for introducing our first book and creating this space for weeks of connecting and sharing, which was amazing. Thank you to all who participated and made it such a wonderful success. We're taking a break for the summer. The next book club will be September 14th. And it's going to be an amazing book that's suggested by Kathy Ronka. It's called Universally Human, and the club will continue to meet on Monday nights. More info to follow. So if you're interested, get the book and start reading.
By Gary Zukoff is so good. Every page could be completely yellow highlighted. 3 sentences, please.
Okay, there you go. So the Science of Mind magazines are available at the back counter. The cost is $11.95 for a double month issue, 2 months. So you could put the money in the bank. You can put the money in the box back there. Nickels are there for change. So consider recycling your old Science of Mind magazines here. Yeah. And there's a new sign-up sheet for social hour. That's in the back, so please sign up. And I think that's it. Yeah, we did all the announcements.
I have books I'd like to donate, but I will not be able to be here next Saturday.
Okay.
Is there some way for me, some way or where I can drop them off
Well,
during the week?
you were able to get in, right?
Right.
That's a good question.
I can meet you.
Basking Ridge.
I can meet you somewhere.
Because
Yeah,
you work in Basking Ridge,
I
right?
can meet you.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's great.
there we go. All right.
Now's the time for our closing prayer. I let go of everything outside of myself and I turn within. Often by just focusing on the breath and then trusting and knowing that wellspring of the still small voice that lives within me is meeting the still small voice within each and every one of you. There is one infinite power, one grace, one force that brought hydrogen and oxygen together to create water. The water that inhabits each and every one of us and the water that's all around us right now. That is how close God is. Right here within each and every one of us. And so what I know is that as we face those times of creativity, of uncertainty, of the unknown, that there is a deep remembrance that emerges out of us that reminds us that we are never truly alone. That we take moments to reflect back on our histories and remember those times of uncertainty in the past and how everything unfolded to bring us into the here and now. We open ourselves up to the unexpected blessings, even the ones that we think we're not ready for. I know that we are being readied for them right here and right now, encouraging our ability to receive more than ever before. I trust and know that each of us is on a sacred mission, and that sacred mission, that we are getting our marching orders, we are getting our instructions one step at a time, and that the courage that we need to move forward we have. I am knowing that what each of us needs to move forward in our lives, the ever-unfolding Spirit is bringing us exactly what that is, and that each of us says yes. So with enormous gratitude for this coming together, for all that was shared today, and for that movement forward into our greater wholeness and good, I move into that place of surrender where I don't have to figure it out, and neither do any of you, because the love that is already knows. And so we give over, we let go, and we trust that all of this is unfolding perfectly right here and right now. And join with me by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Sit, sit, sit with it. Sit, sit, sit with it. If I got a problem, sit with it. Not sure where I'm going, with it. Trust and know the answers will flow if I sit with it. In circles, getting myself so stressed. Things seem to work out better when I'm focused on how I'm blessed. Making a decision, trying to choose the right way. I sit with it. Trust and know the answers will show if I sit with it. Hey. I don't force the answer when I relax my mind. It all comes together in its own sweet time. I don't have to struggle, I sit with it. It will be revealed, I sit with it. Trust and know the answers will show if I sit with it. Hey, hey. Got a two-step. Gonna sit with it. I'm gonna lounge on a lazy boy reclining chair, or a rocker or a sofa, cause I don't have a care. A bar stool or a hammock, or just sit anywhere. I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna sit. I don't have to struggle, I sit with it. It will be revealed, I sit with it. Trust and know the answers will show if I sit with it. Trust and know the answers will flow if I sit